House Republican Congressman Don Bacon of Nebraska. He's a member of the House Armed Services Committee and a retired Air Force Brigadier General. We always appreciate members of Congress who've got that military experience because these are really complicated matters. There's no easy answer for us armchair critics about what should or shouldn't be done. President Trump has not spoken publicly about Syria since the airstrike on Thursday. What's your opinion on the action that the United States took on Thursday night?
Well, I thought it was important that we do a one-time strike like we did to make a statement. Gassing your own people like Assad did was wrong. I think it was also important to show the world that we have a different president. We don't have these red lines that are shifting, that we have a president who will actually take action. But I think it's important that it just be a one-time action because really, the more we hit Assad, the more we help out ISIS. There are no really good sides on this. We need to be very cautious how we press forward. So I support the one-time action. I think if we want to do continuing actions, we need to go to Congress with a clear strategy and get authorization for force.
Right. So the no really good sides is an interesting comment because you may be right. There are no really good options in Syria. There were no really good options in Egypt. We don't have a democratic government in Egypt, despite what the pomp and circumstance that the Egyptian president got at the White House a few days ago. There are no really good options in Iraq. But in the end, there are thousands of refugees coming out of Syria. There are terrorists building homes for their operations there, and there are barrel bombs and chemical weapons being used. So what do we do?
Well, I do think we have to target ISIS because ISIS is dedicated to striking us. We just got to know, though, that Assad is also a barbaric leader, and so there's not a really clear strategy other than we know ISIS is attacking us, and I think we owe it to target ISIS in Syria so they don't have a safe area to operate from. I would also say that we do have an obligation to the refugees. I think that we should provide some safe havens near the borders, near Jordan and Turkey, provide shelter, food, and my goal would be to have a protected area for the refugees, but an area close enough for homes so once the civil war is done, they can go back to their homes and rebuild Syria. I mean, there is a moral question here, right? I mean, on some side, I hear you that ISIS is targeting us and the Assad government absolutely isn't. ISIS isn't targeting America just because they've got Syria. Al-Qaeda continues to be a massive threat against the United States, and it doesn't control any territory whatsoever. So at some point, there's a humanitarian issue here that reminds us of Rwanda, that reminds us of Kosovo, that reminds us of Nazi Germany, that bad things are happening, and we know they're happening. What role do you believe the United States should have in dealing with that? Well, I think it was important to do a one-time show of force against Assad for gassing his own people. We need to deter that kind of behavior. But I think that statement was also important because it sent a signal to Russia, China, and North Korea that we have a different president and that we don't have these red lines that are shifting around. However, we just got to know that regime change in Syria, as much as we dislike Assad and he needs to go, but we saw what happened in Libya and we've seen what happened in Iraq. So we have it will be unsure what will happen after this regime change. We could end up with an ISIS-controlled country too. So I think we have to be very cautious. I've seen firsthand the unintended consequences of using force. So I think we have to be very careful. And I don't really see a clear strategy. There's not an easy strategy here.
No, I hear you. I hear you, and I hear you on unintended consequences. But boy, this has been going on for a long time, and a lot of people are dead, and a lot of people are homeless and stateless. Yes. So hopefully we can figure something out. Sir, thank you for joining us. Representative Don Bacon.
500,000 people killed.
Yeah, no, it's hard. We're going to have to figure this out. Congressman from Nebraska, a member of the House Armed Services Committee, and himself a retired Air Force Brigadier General. More now on rising